So basically, NLP stands for Natural Language Processing. Have you heard of this term before? Have you heard? Do you know what it is? Students? Yes? No? No? Okay, that's actually great. Because in that particular case, we are going to learn it from very basic. Hello. So students, now we are going to learn about NLP. Okay. So what is NLP stands for? बस मुझे यही से आवाज़ है, कहीं और से आवाज़ नहीं। Natural language processing. Now what can be this natural language processing? Anyone would like to give a guess? Okay. Are you able to understand me if I am talking in English? Yes. If I am talking in Hindi, are you able to understand me? Yes. Okay. If I talk in Marathi, then you would be able to understand me? Yes, sir. Okay. But I won't be able to talk. Okay. But let's assume I talk in Bhojpuri or something, any other language, which is not known to you. Will you be able to understand me? No, sir. Right. Because that's not your language you know about, right? If you remember, yesterday we were talking about that machines also have their own language, right? Machine language, which we call 0 and 1, generally we know, right? So now the things work is, basically NLP is a part where it processes your natural language for its understanding and also come back with a result in your language in which you are comfortable. As we were talking about Alexa, Google Assistant yesterday, somewhere it uses a speech recognition, right? We were talking about it is going to use speech recognition. But what happens after speech recognition? What happens inside the speech recognition? So NLP works inside the speech recognition. What happens is speech recognition में क्या मतलब हुआ? आपने जो बोला वो उसने समझा. But जो process होता है उसे बोलते हैं natural language processing. Now I'll just try to give you an idea. So see how exactly NLP works is human language is converted to the data that a computer can understand. NLP algorithms are trained on this human language of data. I don't know means have you heard of this or not, but in the news, do you listen to news? Yes. No? Yes, sir. Okay. How many of you listen to news? No, when my father. Okay, that's great. Sometimes you should listen. So, have you heard speech of any of the spokesperson or any of the, okay, we can consider any political person. Okay, so let's assume we have a political person named X. Okay, so have you heard the speech of that particular person? Means any person I'm talking about, right? Have you seen in the news, sometimes they show you that the person who gave the speech, was that speech a positive note or was that a negative note? Have you heard of this part in the news? Sometimes this also happens, like we can consider again any political person, he talks about the growth of India, right? So how many times he has talked about growth of India and how many times he has talked about the other political parties? Have you seen these type of data analytics in news?
Yes, sir.
These all things happens with NLP. So they have NLP software. Like right now, I'm talking to you. Okay, so I'm talking to you and you are listening to me. You are just understanding. You are not analyzing, right? You are not trying to analyze what the Ayush is trying to say. You are just understanding. But let's assume somewhere, like if this camera, you can say, is recording, right? Someone sits and take out whatever I have said, right? And then go through one by one with the one by one word and tells me, okay, in overall whatever you have taught, half of the time you haven't taught, you are always talking to the students. It might be possible because they are going to analyze on the basis of word by word thing, right? Also, if I say I am happy, is this a positive or a negative sentence? I am sad. I am not happy. I am not sad. Positive. So this is, we call this like text classification. Okay. Somewhere what we are able to do is we are able to understand. See, I mentioned not. Okay. But I also mentioned sad. So somewhere you will see minus and minus you did a positive. Right? If I said not and if I said happy, so it was 1 minus, 1 plus, so somewhere what you did? Minus, that is negative. Similarly, if I give you a big sentence, I was going yesterday to a bike and I just fall off, I didn't fall off, just making a story, okay? So I fall off, then I again started riding a bicycle, someone just gave me a chocolate and then I went to my home, I rested, I felt happy, and but at the night my head was, I was having a headache, so I became sad. So now let's assume this is a speech, okay? So if you write it down, somewhere you would be able to understand the nature of that person, whether I'm a positive person or I'm a negative person, based on the text what I have said, right? So what we have done here is, we have basically classified the text. Are you able to understand? With the text we are able to understand, okay, this is the negative things what happened after like yesterday's session to this person. So now we are able to do that because we have now I will be talking to you in Kannada. Kannada, you know? Yes. It's a language from Karnataka, right? Yes. So do you know Kannada? Means, do you understand Kannada? Yes. Okay, those who understand that it's good. But I won't be again able to speak. But coming back, like if I say Kannada, and to those who don't understand Kannada, if I would be narrating you this story, would you be able to make any analysis on my speech? No? Right. But the machines can do. Because we have trained the machines with many languages. Not only Indian languages, but the languages all across the world. And that is why we are saying now data science or this artificial intelligence is in high growth, and we want you all to look into it and understand it. Okay? So now if you see a new human language data is given to an NLP algorithm, now the computer can analyze and understand this data. Right? Now in the NLP, as I mentioned, there is you can have pure link of speech recognition. So speech recognition is ability of machine to identify words in the phrase in the spoken language and convert them to the machine readable format. Now you have to understand what speech recognition is doing and what NLP is doing. So basically, somewhere speech recognition is able to convert what you have spoken into text, but NLP is helping the computers to understand what is inside the text. Have you got an idea? If I am saying something, you are able to understand that is something like a speech recognition. But if you are able to write something based on it, that is because you have understood what I am trying to say, and that is a processing, which we are calling a natural language processing. Okay, so let's have a small look to this photo picture. So can you tell me what are these languages? What is French means? Tell me the name as well. Okay, bonjour is a French, okay. Hello is English. Hello is I think Spanish. Namaste is Hindi. One we have is Japanese. I think one is Arabic, something. No, hello is written, but we are trying to understand which are these languages. Yeah. Russian, okay, where it is? This number? Okay. Do we know what is this? No, this is not Chinese. Something looking like Chinese. Huh? Okay, that is Korean. Okay, that's great. Thai. Okay. And what is this in between? Urdu. Okay. So that's great. But if I say you are able to understand this because there is a center written as hello. If I remove that hello, will you be able to understand what you knew with the symbols? Okay, you have seen those symbols somewhere written. So, who mentioned about Korean? Definitely. As per my knowledge, right now BTS is something which is going very on high demand, right? Okay. So, but if I remove the hello, okay, and also namaste, which is very common to us, we can also remove hello because it's little similar. In that scenario, will you be able to tell me what is, even though you know the language name, right? This is Thai, this is Spanish, this is Korean. Will you be able to tell me what exactly is written? No. Again, the question comes up because we are not aware of that language. But machines are now aware of all these languages. I'll give you a little idea of speech recognition, how it works. Yes. Do you think speech recognition is tough? It's easy? What do you think, others? Just try to understand with the part as a human. It's tough, right? Because language itself is a very tough part, right? If right now, if we ask to go to any place and learn that language, so we won't be able to do that, right? So I recently actually visited to Indonesia and I lived there for 7 to 8 days. You won't believe I only know 2 words. That is makasih and sama-sama. That is thank you and welcome. Apart from that, I have talked to people. I was living with them for 8 hours, but I don't know even a single word because I could not adapt that because that was not my necessity. Okay. Also, it requires a little time, right? It requires a little time and also specialization. It's not like I am willing to do that. I am willing to learn the languages of the world, but it is not everyone's. You can say that everyone can learn every language. For me, means I am like a little lazy person, so I don't think I would be able to learn any other languages because it's tough for me. But for you all, whenever you get a chance, I would definitely suggest you to learn some languages. Of course, you are learning programming languages, but of course, if you get a time, please do learn some languages around the world. So now, coming to the part of speech recognition. So here if you see, I can try. I'm not sure whether it is going to work or not. So this is Alexa. Hi Alexa. Oh, sorry, I don't know that. So I think internet might be. Hello Alexa. Hi. Okay, it's not working. So, but still, you can try your phones. You have a Google Assistant, Alexa, and Siri as well, right? So, I wanted to show you a process basically. When I said, hello Alexa, right? The first thing what happened was the machine was able to record a file. That file then went to the machine where it breaks down the audio to the text. Means whatever I said, like hello Alexa, it inside the machine, the audio broke down into the text part. So The next thing is then inside the database. You know what is database? How many of you know what is database? Okay, those who don't know the database, for their understanding, you can understand database as your brain which stores the data. Okay? So you have a memory power, right? Do you remember what did you have for your lunch yesterday?
Yes, sir.
How many of you remember what you had yesterday? You don't know what you had yesterday in lunch? Do you remember? Everyone remembers, right? Because that is somewhere stored in your brain. So that is a data which is stored. Similarly, machines also have databases where they have stored the information of language. So when I said hello Alexa, so it broke down into hello Alexa in written file. Okay? Just assume it happened, but not exactly as I am saying. It might be done in the numbers or in algorithm. But what happens, the hello Alexa got printed, the machine read it and tried to understand through the database in which we have stored the information of English language. At the last, this could not happen, I don't know why, but it should happen that you get a reply from the internet and then it speaks back to you. So if I would have said hello Alexa, it would have said me hello Ayush, right? You might have observed this, you have played this, right? Okay, so this is how exactly speech recognition works. Now this is a small cycle. So can you tell me what's the initial point here? Think and speak. What's the initial point? Speaking. When we are going to speak, someone is going to listen, then understand, and then respond. And here the someone is Alexa. But did this process followed with me? No. I don't know why it could not process my information, whether it can be due to internet connection or some other issue. So it listened to me but could not process, right? So now we are going to make a text classifier. But before we go ahead, I would like to show you some of the wonderful examples or the applications of speech recognition. Have you seen a chatbot? Have you worked with any chatbot? Okay, if you haven't worked with a chatbot, you can just type on Google whenever you type, get a time. Google, as in Google I'm talking about. Like Google also have a chatbot, right? Google Assistant. Personal assistants, of course, we have a Google Assistant. Medical dictation softwares, like generally we will see medical we think is something very difficult. I should say career perspective, right? So it's a lot of study. Every career perspective have a journey. But if we talk about medical dictation, so what happens is there are very terms which are very difficult in medical, right? Sometimes if I say you, I want this particular thing, okay, and you didn't understood it, and you took it anything else, and then you made a like a drug for anything else, and I asked you a drug for a fever, right? So how you can think how big problem it would be. So what happens is somewhere AI is helping us to convey the right messages among the medical facilitators, helping physical challenged people to access the things. Do we all agree with this? Like if we have some people around us who are physically challenged, so they can easily work out the thing. Now using IoT, they can switch on and off the lights and everything, right? So together as a part of society, it's our responsibility to come up with the best solutions for every individual. Okay? So it's your responsibility to take care of every particular individual who is in the society, as well as come up with the best solutions to provide the best quality of everything, whether it's education, it's quality of air, quality of food, behavior, anything you have, the best quality to the society. So now we are going to work with a text classifier. But before that, let me also show you some applications of NLP. So have you seen autocorrect in your phone?
Yes, sir.
So this is basically an autocomplete and autocorrect is an application of NLP. Social media monitoring. Do you know about it? Nowadays, in India as well, we have an amazing software as well as, I should say, the scrutinizing team, which can let people, means they can know that what even in social media if someone is tweeting back, right? So automatically the Twitter, I should say, blocks that account, or a notification comes, this is some comment which should not be there. It's not good for society. Somewhere there is, you can think is, NLP is getting used. Survey analysis. Now, you have to think. You all have given the survey. Have you given any surveys? No? So from what Megha ma'am was asking to give you one survey, right? That was also a survey, a feedback form. So did you give it or not? Yes. Say it loudly or I'll call Megha ma'am. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now the thing is, so you have given your feedback. You might have written a line or a lines or a paragraph for something. Now the things come up to you think. Right now we are 40. If I'm going to do this program for 400, 500 people, so is there would be any person who would be sitting and reading that each and every sentence written by you? Would that gonna happen or not? No, right? Because if those comments are 400 people have given the comment and each person has given a 4-liner comment. So it would be like a person would require 1 month to understand what the feedback is. And then after 1 month, there would be no use of the feedback, right? So there comes the NLP, and then we give this data to the NLP, that is natural language processing, that directly give us the highlights of that text. That if you have written good presentation, good this, good that, something late coming, not understanding, something like if out of 400 somewhere 250 people written, not understanding. So if I give this data to NLP, so there is a part, you can just search in the internet while going home or when back to home, word cloud. Have you heard of this term, word cloud? So word cloud is somewhere which helps you to give the analysis of a big chunk of words into a small graph. So there would be coming something like the big letters with bold letters as well as a bright color which has been a part of that particular composition many a times. There would be some words with a very small line that would be the part of that composition, very listed. Samjha bhi sabko? Okay, so now let's go and make the text classifier. So please open PictoBlock and add NLP extension. Can you please help me? Type. Okay, type and search, okay. Okay. Oh, I don't have any question. Where? Okay. So you picked up a software means just give me. what is class? Okay, so what is class? Class is a group? Cow is a class? Okay, and any other examples of class? Pen, water bottle, or animal? Juice. Okay, juices, yeah, of course. Orange juice. Furniture. Mobile. Okay. Purse. Wallet. Birds. Okay. Okay, laptop. What? So I am only able to hear from this. Headphones, okay. Don't say. Telephone. Pizza, okay. Bike. Okay. Okay, that's great, okay. So actually मैं बस ये check कर रहा था आप लोग सो कर नहीं हो. Okay. So I hope all of you think what you have wished mentioned me. Definitely this Christmas you are going to get. Okay. And of course somebody at the last mentioned pizza. So I am a pizza lover. So I would love to ask Santa for a pizza as well. Okay. So coming back to the part. So add a text to your class. So if I say I'm happy. Okay. Or no, let's not take this example. We have to add our class, okay? Okay, so now let's assume you want to switch off the light of this room. Okay, so one by one tell me how would you say, one by one, raise your hand, that you want to switch off this light.
I want to switch off the light.
I want to switch off the light. That we can take it, switch off the light, okay? Other than that, how can we say?
Turn off the light.
Turn off the light, we can say.
Switch off the light.
Switch off the light we have already. We have two things right now. Switch off the light and turn off the light. Other?
Put off the light.
Put off the light, okay. Turn off the light, okay. Make it dark, right. Other? I'm feeling sleepy, okay. For this room, of course, this is not going to work. But when your parents are there and they say I'm feeling sleepy, you automatically understand I have to just leave the room and switch off the light. Okay. So similarly, what happens is we can say a simple thing, means a thing to be done in a different language, different ways, right? So now we can put all these data as one class, that the meaning of all these things is switching off the light or light off. Correct? Do we all agree?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if I take an example that I give you to say that how exactly you would like to turn on the light. So one is turn on the light, second is you will say switch on the light. Now what you the next?
It is so dark.
Okay, it is so dark. Project बना लिए क्या? Okay. Next, put on the lights. Then,
Turn on the light.
okay, let the lights be off. Okay.
Turn on the light.
Turn on the light. We can also use these terms, right? I want to study. I can't see anything, right? It's too dark here. You have already mentioned. So make it little bright, right? It's dark over here. Yeah. So all these texts what we have discussed, can we put it into one class? That is, we basically want to turn on the light. Yeah. Blow the room. Yeah, really nice. Right? So can we make two classes here? One is for switching off the light and one is for switching on the light. Right? Now the things come up. Apart from it, just as a human, if I come tomorrow and you are all sitting, okay, and if let's say the lights are off, and if I say it's too dark here, so you won't be able to understand, right? That here Mr. Ayush wants this light to be switched on, because before this, what we had a conversation right now, before this, you wouldn't have thought of this thing, right? If someone is saying it's too dark, right? So it's not like that, right? If, like in road you are going in, your friend says it's too hot today, so you offer a cold drink or ice cream. Do you offer? No, right? But if we are putting these texts in one class and we want one thing to happen, then in particular cases you will put this in your brain as well, right? So now similarly we have to make this machines understand this particular point, that if in case someone says related to this, this means positive and this means negative. Now we are going to do the same thing. So I just make two blocks here. You can use camel casing, yeah, of course you should use camel casing. Take two classes, one is light on. Okay, and the second would be light off. One first is the classes. Oh, sorry. So here basically what I am doing is I am trying to create a data. Okay. First we have to make our machines understand these things, right? Now we are going to add what we have discussed till now. Okay. So we have discussed is it's too dark here. We can keep lights on, light is low, turn on the light, and light is too dim. For lights on. Okay. So I'll write this. erasing the link out of it, it would be learned by it only. So sometimes we require to reset the text classifier. So now, what should we do? We have created a data, right? The next is we have to train the machine. And then we are going to check whether my machine is working good or not. Okay? So now for training, we have of course we have a direct block here, which says train the text classifier. But we will make a block because first somewhere we have to reset the old text classifier, which might be trained in my machine, in your machine. Then we will be calling these data for training. First you have to call the data as well, right? So somewhere from these functions, I would call the data and then train my machine. And then we will go to the implementation. So first, whenever you are working with any AI project, the first part becomes is data collection. The second works with cleaning. So you can consider here is your work with little cleaning part. The next is so the next step becomes is after making data, then you clean it. After that you process that. Or you can say you train that data with machine. And the last is you test the machine learning model or a model of AI. These are the basic 4 steps for AI modeling. So now, till now we have added a data. So now we are going to drink a tea and then we are going to come back and then train the data. Okay? So, yes,
Let's break for me. Correct? First floor, please. Where you had your lunch. 15 minutes, 3:45 you're back. Blocks again.
if my text classifier is already have learned any concept, so we have to reset. The second is we have to call the data, right? So I can call my data like this: data for lights on, data for lights off. Correct? Is it correct or wrong? We can call this, right? The next is we have to give a command to train the text classifier, right? So this is going to somewhere help you to train. While we also need to test, that is we have to implement this. So I can implement this very easily, that I'll write my question here, whatever I say, okay, and I want the class of that particular text, whatever I'm going to write it here. So to make it little more in a good way, we can use when green flag is clicked, okay, I'll first call train data because I'm going to trigger everything from a green flag. First I want it to go here where it will reset, it will call the data stored and train the text classifier, and then I'm going to directly go to look and say the class of text classifier. So I'm going to make it very simple. Also you can add much more things here. Like you can add sensing, you can ask. Okay, you can use ask here, and then the answer is stored, you can take the class of that answer as well. Okay? Sorry?
You can't see this side.
Okay. So I'll take this up. Is it visible now? Is it visible now? Okay. So even what we can do here is we can put it like here. We are going to ask, and whatever would be the answer, we can get a class of it. So we can write the question is Have you understood it till here? First we gave the data, then we called the data, first we resetted the classifier, we trained the classifier. We didn't train the classifier, we just wrote the script for training, okay? But here with a small script, I am first training, taking the input from the user and also taking the class of the answer. So can we test it? So I'll press the green flag. So it is saying, how can I help? So I'll try to write something. It's dark here, I wrote. So it set me lights on. So now I want to ask a very simple question. Okay, on the basis of what we have done till now. Is, if in case I write something else, what I have not given here, will I get the correct answer? Actually, that's the power of natural language processing. The answer is yes. Since we are working on AI, right? So it's when we are training something, that means we are not making it learn. You remember I mentioned if I am teaching you 2 plus 2 and I ask you 2 plus 2, there is no intelligence in answering that question, right? But I am teaching you 2 plus 2 and I am asking you 4 plus 6. Then in that case, if you give me the answer, I can call you intelligent. Similarly, I have taught my machine with this text. Now my machine has understood about what exactly the things related to lights were. Now instead of this also, if I write something else, there might be chance you not get the correct answer, but you are going to get the answer. If in case you are not going to get the correct answer, we have to train the model with little more text. But the thing is, we should get a correct answer even if we are writing something else which is not the part of training data. Because training data and the testing data should be always different. It should not be same. Because if you simple, you know me, right? If I show you my picture, you would be able to tell me, right? Yeah, this is Mr. Ayush. But if in case I am taking a test with you, I'll show you some other person, right? So now, like if I say, I give you, let's see, we'll check some examples later on. But have you understood this part or not? Now, how can you improve this? Some projects here is, you learned about if and else, right? You can write it here if the class of the object is lights on. I want to change the backdrop to some good lights. If the class of the object is lights off, you can bring the darkness on the stage. Yeah, like you can choose any black background, right? So in this way, basically, you can add your things into the project. Have you understood what I said? Everyone? Okay? So have you completed this?